Hello, everybody. Welcome to another great episode of Distilled, Brewed, and Reviewed. My name is John, and you have now joined me in my world-famous sipping den. How cool is that? Well, I'll answer. It's damn cool. And in this sipping den, do you know what occurs? Well, one of the things that occurs is my reviews, and I review everything that has anything to do with alcohol. And I mean everything that has anything to do with it. I also do a world-famous Sunday morning coffee review. Now, this is a lot of stuff. But you know what's unique about it? Two things. One, I'm the only one in the world that can do it. How lucky are you to be here? Number two, I have broken the code for YouTube's playlist and was able to categorize and subcategorize everything I review in such a way that when you go on there, you're going to be able to find all those categories so easily. It's just going to be amazing. And matter of fact, it is so amazing that I, the inventor, can't even describe my own work. I have to implore you to check it out. Challenge you to check out that playlist. At which time you'll give me the coveted subscription. You'll sub to the channel. Maybe give me a comment so I can talk to you back. A thumbs up, all these beautiful things. Watch it to the end. It helps the analytics, which keeps me highly motivated, truly dedicated, and that is important. So, first comment of every video is also pinned because it always has a link to what I'm reviewing. In this case, bourbon, but not just any bourbon. A very allocated, hard to find, almost impossible to get. And when you do get it, you got to pay a fortune on the secondary market in general. It's a Buffalo Trace product. It is not only a Buffalo Trace product, hard to get on and on and on. It is a store-pick single barrel. And here it is. Weller. Full proof, 114 proof, 57% alcohol by volume, meaning 50% of this liquid in this bottle is alcohol. Here it is. There is the store pick tag. Single barrel, Cox's and Evergreen Liquors, single barrel select. This says Weller, the original wheated bourbon, full proof. It's also known as the blue label, right? Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, and I told you the proof. I just did this one. All right, so we're having a beautiful Weller day here today. What the heck does the back say? It's worth reading on this rare, valuable bottle. William LaRue Weller developed his original bourbon recipe with wheat rather than rye, because all bourbon has to be at least minimum 50% corn, and it always has malted barley in it, small amount. But what is that middle ingredient? Well, that middle ingredient is either rye, mostly, or wheat and no rye, right? Or rye and no wheat. This is the wheat, no rye. Or even less common, corn, malted barley at the end, and the two middle ones are wheat and rye. It's called a 4-grain. This is the wheated. It's known as a wheated bourbon. All right, bottled at the same 114 proof in which it was entered into the barrel. Little tip there. So it goes in at 114. They put it in a part of the warehouse where they know it's going to probably rise, because otherwise, if it's 112, right? Put it in at 114. So that means if it goes up, they put it at 114, goes up to 120. They do put a little water in to bring it back down to 114. If they screw up, I guess, and it comes below it, then they just continue to age it and proof it down to 90, make the 12-year, or some of their other versions, special reserve, and proof it down and so on and so forth. Let's see. This non-chill filtered wheated bourbon forgoes chill filtering to preserve all the natural occurring residual oils and flavors that occur during the distillation and aging process, potentially making it appear cloudy at cold temperatures. This bourbon, making it appear cloudy at cold temperatures, yes. This bourbon balances a rich mouthfeel with robust notes of vanilla and oak, a whiskey that satisfies demand of the non-chill filtered whiskey enthusiast. Honoring the man who made wheated bourbon legendary, and I'm the man who made reviewing legendary. How cool is that? That's real cool. So I think we don't really need to read this now, right? Now we read it there. All right, good enough for government work. Let's get into it. Let's pour it into a glass. Where is my glass? If it was up my, I'd know where it was. So, don't know what in the tippity-doo-dah day I've done with my glass. This is a disaster. I'm going to have to. All right. You look at this collection behind me. Well, I go over here and get a glass. I'm going to get a Glencairn. You just look at all that beautiful stuff back there. Either I've reviewed it or I'm going to review it. Now, a lot of stuff I've reviewed is gone. I finished it. I drank it. I shared it with my friends. And so I don't have 10,000 bottles. Because my goal eventually is to drink every one of them, of course, over time. Now, it was worth the wait. It's got one of these bad boys. Now, I want you to look at the color. Oh, almost forgot. Now, this is damn important. This bottle was loaned to me. It is hard to get, almost impossible bottle. And who loaned it to me? Jacob Jacoby loaned it to me. And so, thank you very much. It's a huge loan to the channel. All right. So, there's the color. Right? Now, don't want to use too much. It's not mine. It's on loan. This looks good when you pour it like this. You get the label, say, like you're a bartender. Ooh. And there is the color in the old glass Ola. Put this cap back on. Give it back to Jacob. Let's give it a smell, shall we? 114 proof. You know, it's funny. It's a lot sweeter smelling than the 12 was, because the 12 had that influence of 12 years in that barrel. What the hell is going on up there? That is what a grandson can do. Maniac. Absolute maniac. And it's my grandson. I have to point that out because there's no way in hell I look old enough to have. Come on. What can I do? And he's a maniac. And he's marching. All right, so sweetness. There's definite sweetness coming out of this. There is vanilla. There is oak, but compared to the other one, the oak is very mild because I had a 12-year. The oak was prominent. And it has fruitiness to it. It not only has fresh, like orangey type fruit, citrus a little bit, but I detect some dried fruit as well. And sometimes dried fruit dries up and it gets very concentrated with the sugars. And that's what I'm getting out of this. Now, I did a review on some natural sugar. Natural sugar is so much different from regular refined sugar, right? It was copper colored, it was full of vitamins, it was full of minerals. It was all different sizes, the little grains. It was totally different from the refined white sugar. And that is what the smell of this is reminding me of. And thank goodness I was able to review that and smell it, or I wouldn't be able to equate this quite with that. So, that being said, let's get into the taste. I know you're all waiting. So, I put that in my mouth, do an acclimation, forgot it was 114. Immediately realized it was 114. Yeah, may not have smelled 114, but you can tell it's 114. Got a nice sweetness to it. Again, like that natural sugar, natural cane sugar, which has more of the taste and the smell. Sweet, but it has the vitamins, has the mineral. It's a little more earthy, a little more natural, not just candy sweet. More of a, natural is not a good word probably, but more of a woodsy, earthy smell with the sweetness. Really, and the sweetness, I can't, so much more sweet than the 12 year. A lot sweeter. Boy, for 112, it's not bad. After you get that acclimation sit down, it's smooth because of that wheat. Very smooth. And smooth meaning not a lot of burn, not a lot of spiciness, nothing like that. Because the wheat, the rye is where you get a lot of spice. Does not have rye. Think of bread. Think of wheat bread. Think of rye bread. Right? Think of cornbread. This is at least 51% corn. So we're getting a lot of sweetness and a lot of softness like a wheat bread, as opposed to a bite like a rye. That's the best way I can describe that. You got the sweetness. You do have some barrel influence. You got a lot of vanilla coming through because the barrel's not crazy with the tannin or anything like that. And so the delicate vanilla is allowed to shine. And we do have a mix of fruits going on. It's fresh and some aged, dried fruits, what I get. And that's what I'm getting out of this. It's very pleasing. 114 proof. Unbelievable. All right, everybody. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you on the next one.